All right. Shalom, family. It's your brother Kanaiba coming at you once again with this video titled The Big Birthday Bash, 1776 to 2026. What could this mean spiritually? Okie dokie. So, as you may or may not know, your president-elect, Mr. Donald J. Trump, last year, he made an announcement about a big birthday that America has that's coming up. Okay? And it's going to be America's 250th birthday in 2026. Okay? From its inception in 1776 all the way to 2026. Sum total, 250 years. Okay? And of course, that birthday is going to be July 4th, 2026. Okay? So last year, he did this video about what he wants to do in commemoration of that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at this thing from a spiritual vantage point. Okay, because what does this actually mean, and why is there so much emphasis placed on this? Whenever that much emphasis is placed on something out there in the media, you have to pay close attention. Okay? And looking at this thing, I believe, and it's simply my critique, but 2026 is going to be something special about that year. Okay, so we're going to get into it, and I'm going to lay down the foundation as to why I'm saying what I'm saying. Okay? So without further ado, let's actually get into the video that Mr. Donald J. Trump did. Okay, let's take a look.
3 years from now, the United States will celebrate the biggest and most important milestone in our country's history. 250 years of American independence. What a great country. And we have to keep it that way. But that's why, as a nation, we should be preparing for a most spectacular birthday party. We want to make it the best of all time. Here is my plan to give America's founding in 1776 the incredible anniversary it truly deserves. On day one, I will convene a White House task force called Salute to America 250. It will be responsible for coordinating with state and local governments to ensure not just one day of celebration, but an entire year of festivities across the nation, starting on Memorial Day 2025 and continuing through July 4th, 2026. Second, I will work with all 50 governors, Republican and Democrat alike, to create the Great American State Fair, a unique one-year exhibition featuring pavilions from all 50 states. It'll be something. The Great American State Fair will showcase the glory of every state in the Union, promote pride in our history, and put forth innovative visions for America's future. My hope is that the amazing people of Iowa will work with my administration to open up the legendary Iowa State Fairgrounds to host the Great American State Fair and welcome millions and millions of visitors from around the world to the heartland of America for this special one-time festival. Together we will build it and they will come.
Real quick, notice how they always talking about building something? But the ironic thing is when you read the prophecy in Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4, what did the Lord say? The Lord said, they shall build, but I will throw down. Okay, and again, that's a prophecy against the children of Edom, which, of course, is your Caucasians today. Okay, but anyway, let's continue.
Third, alongside the Great American State Fair, we will host major sporting contests for high school athletes. These are great athletes, wonderful athletes from fantastic high schools all around the country.
And if I were a betting man, I would bet that the majority of the people that's participating in those sporting events are going to be Jakes. It's going to be Israelites that's participating in these sporting events that's venerating America, which again goes back to that Greco-Roman Empire. Okay, even the idea of gymnasiums goes back to ancient Greece, that Greco-Roman Empire. Okay, where they were participating in different sports, really butt naked. No lie. No exaggeration. But yeah, if I were a betting man, I'd say those are probably going to be young Jakes that's participating in that sporting event that he's talking about. But anyway, let's continue.
These Patriot Games will allow young Americans from every state to show off the best of American skills, sportsmanship, and competitive spirit. Fourth, I will sign an executive order to bring back our National Garden of American Heroes, which we want to build very badly. Commission artists for the first 100 statues to populate this new statuary park honoring the greatest Americans of all time.
Y'all better start listening when we tell y'all that America is the resurrection of ancient Rome. He said they're going to try to build a statuary park of the great American heroes of the past. Roughly paraphrasing what he said. If I were a betting man, all that's going to be is basically a statuary park of pagan gods. Okay, they're going to disguise it as the American heroes of the past, but all it is going to be in veneration of different pagan gods. Okay, and that's just my critique. Okay, but if I were a betting man, that's what I would say this is going on, because this place is just Rome resurrected. Okay, but anyway, let's get back to it.
Fifth, as president, I will invite the leaders and citizens of nations around the world to visit the United States in honor of our 250th anniversary. It's going to be great.
Why on earth would other nations around the world want to take place in America's birthday bash? Just think about that. What type of sense does that make? Does he not realize that probably over half of those countries around the world has missiles pointed right at this place, ready to blow it to hell and back? I mean, really. But again, this is the pride of Esau. Okay, I have a news flash for you, sir. Not everybody loves America. Okay, but anyway, let's continue.
America's tourist industry should get ready because we're going to have a lot of people coming. It will be a record year. And finally, and most importantly, I will ask America's great religious communities to pray for our nation and our people as we prepare for this momentous occasion. From the very beginning, America has been a country sustained and strengthened by prayer and by our communities of faith.
America has been sustained and strengthened off of the blood, sweat, and tears of the Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Okay, going all the way back to chattel slavery. That's really what built and sustained this country, not prayer. Okay, this country is not founded upon biblical principles contrary to popular belief. Okay, this country is really built and sustained off of really paganism, witchcraft, and things of that nature. Okay, the so-called founding fathers of this nation, it's a known fact that they were Freemasons. Okay, but anyway, let's get back to it.
As we chart a course toward the next 250 years, let us come together and rededicate ourselves as one nation under God.
One nation under God, huh? Yeah, okay, you got that right. It's one nation under God. The Most High has his foot on the neck of this place. That's the only way that rings true. Talking about some one nation under God. No, sir. No, the Most High is opposed to this place. Okay. And his impending judgment is upon it. And it's right around the corner. Okay. So now, as we see here, we saw the video I was talking about earlier. Okay. He did this back in 2023. Okay. And he wants to make a big deal out of America's 250th year anniversary. It's quote unquote birthday. But here's where you gotta love the Most High. Okay. They really don't know what's going on here and how this lines up with history. Okay, statistically, how this lines up with history. Okay, let's look at an article I found, and you'll see what I mean. Okay, let's take a look here. So here is the article I was talking about, and this article was actually done back in 2021. Okay, so whoever this individual is, okay, they they actually see what's going on statistically. All right. And let's look at the title of the article. Very interesting. Now, this is a title by a Mr. Armstrong Williams. Okay. And of course, the date of this article was Monday, December 27th, 2021. And it reads, it says the average empire survives for 250 years. Is America at death's door? Now, wait a minute. We just watched a whole video, about 3-minute video, of Mr. Donald J. Trump making a big deal about America's 250th birthday that's coming up in 2026. He wants to make a big deal out of it. He wants to make it a year-long celebration. Right? What did he say? Starting Memorial Day of 2025 and it progressing all the way through July 4th, 2026. Okay. But this article is going to get into detail about how, on average, most empires last 250 years. Okay. Give or take either way. Right? So let's read. It says, studies show that an empire survives, on average, a mere 250 years. Did you know that? To put that into context, the world's oldest person recently died at 124 years old. And of course, this was back in 2021, right? It says, so she lived nearly half as long as most empires do. It says most Americans are unaware of this small but crucial statistic, which may suggest much about our country's future. It is past time for Americans to confront the painful reality that our time as a world superpower may be limited. And it is time to explore how to slow down what, frankly, is inevitably at some point. Well, you can't slow it down. In fact, it's speeding up. Don't we read about that? And what is that? Matthew 24, how it says, for the elect's sake, he would speed up the time, roughly paraphrasing. Okay. And I don't know if the rest of you brothers and sisters could feel this, but it seems like within the last month or two, the Most High has sped up time even more. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but that's what I've been feeling. Okay. But let's see. Let's continue here. It says that the United States global domination will not persist indefinitely. You got that right. It says this may be difficult to grasp and accept. No, it's not. It says, but it has never been true for any civilization in the past. and it will never be true for any society in the future. All right, let's let's continue. So the article goes on to say, bottom paragraph here, it says, as we consider historical empires, it is worth noting that the vast majority of Americans do not regard the United States as an empire in the classical sense, despite the fact that many people throughout the world do. However, for the purpose of this column, the United States, although being modern in every meaning of the word, does indeed qualify as an empire. Yeah, it is an empire. You know what it is? It's the Roman Empire, just resurrected. Okay, again, this goes back to the book of Revelation. Okay, I believe the 13th chapter. Okay, that's what this place is. It's the resurrection of ancient Rome. Okay. But anyway, let's continue with the article here. And it says, since World War II, the United States has been primarily concerned with spreading democracy and freedoms across the world, seeing itself as a sort of global liberator. Let's pause right here. Okay. Now, again, this goes into what I was saying. Okay. Let's actually get that. Okay. See how the beginning of this paragraph, it talks about how America spreads its democracy all across the world. It's so-called democracy and freedom. Okay, that's a part of that cup that you read about in the book of Revelation. Okay, let's get that real quick. We're going to come back to the article. Okay. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 17 and verse 4. And it reads, it says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and with precious stones and pearls. Now watch this. Having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Okay, so John the Revelator is seeing a vision of this particular woman. Okay, and she's riding upon a scarlet colored beast, right? Of course, that beast having 7 heads, 10 horns. Okay, you should be familiar, right? But the point is, this particular woman that's riding upon this scarlet colored beast, she's holding a cup in her hand. Now, the Bible says that in that cup, the cup is full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. What is that filthiness? What is those abominations? It's America. Part of it is America's policies. Going into what the article says, America has gone about trying to spread its democracy and freedoms all across the world. That's that golden cup that we're reading about. Okay, let's get more on that. Okay, let's look at this verse here. This is Revelation chapter 18 and verse 3, and it reads, it says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Okay, that's that cup we just read about in Revelation chapter 17. Okay, and it links right up with what the article said. America has gone about trying to spread its democracies and its freedoms all across the world. America's trying to spread its policies to everybody else, sticking its nose where it don't belong. Okay? And that's why it says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Right? It says, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Okay. So the whole point is to prove that what the article is saying is true. It actually lines up with the Bible. Okay. But anyway, let's get back to the article here. All right, so I'm going to start from the top again. It says, since World War II, the United States has been primarily concerned with spreading democracy and freedom across the world. Again, that's that golden cup that we just read about, right? It says, seeing itself as a sort of global liberator. It says, in reality, the United States maintains over 800 military outposts and special operations groups spread around the globe. It says this is a critical consideration in determining where the United States belongs in the pantheon of former empires. It says, since like those before it, it has been primarily interested in extending influence and power. This is not something that I mean as a criticism, but rather as a contextual point. However, it is this outreach and the pursuit of continuous power and influence that frequently leads to empires withering, albeit slowly. And yes, America is slowly circling the drain. It's almost finished. Okay, but it's definitely circling the drain now. Okay. So the article continues and it says, in 2026, the United States of America, founded in 1776, will celebrate its 250th anniversary. We're rapidly nearing the 250th anniversary of the fall of most previous civilizations, with ongoing internal turmoil ranging from race to financial disparity to political tribalism. And let's not gloss over that. Okay. We just saw this in the election, did we not? On a high level, political tribalism. Okay. This nation is divided. Okay. And this election really just, it magnified it to like the 10th power. Okay. You got Democrats versus against the Republicans, men against women. That divide is, yeah. And we all know what Yahweh Shah already said about a kingdom divided. Okay, it cannot stand. It's gonna fall, just like America's about to fall. Okay. It says, in other countries gradually pulling away from the orbit of U.S.-led supremacy. And again, this is why I said, why on earth would Donald Trump think that other countries would want to celebrate with America its 250th birthday? You got these other countries that's pulling away from the supremacy of the United States. Okay, a lot of these other countries don't agree with the ideologies of America. Okay, but it goes on to say, it appears that the tide is turning against us. I fear that this mere statistic may soon become a reality that alters the course of our lives. After all, many citizens and politicians would celebrate our downfall. Yep. It says, not realizing the perilous impact it would have on the freedoms they believe they do not have. I am not sure if it will be a huge international conflict, a financial catastrophe, or a civil war that causes the United States to fall apart. Well, it's going to be all of the above. Okay. Which, of course, is going to lead up to those missiles coming and blowing this place to smithereens. Okay. But it goes on to say, but I do believe that learning from the past is critical if we are to slow down the inevitable. You can't slow it down. Okay, allow me to burst your bubble. You cannot slow it down. Like we said earlier, the Most High is speeding it up, and he's doing it for the elect's sake. Okay. So now let's get a little bit more information on the 250 years. Okay, let's take a look at this. All right, so this is a quick Google search dealing with the average time length of an empire, basically. Okay, and it says, according to historical analysis, the average lifespan of a kingdom or empire is around 250 years, meaning most kingdoms do not last much longer than that period. Okay, that's why, again, I said give or take 250 years. Okay, most kingdoms, that's the average. It's 250. Could be a little longer, could be a little less. Okay, let's look at the key points here. It says key points to remember. Average lifespan. Studies suggest that most empires and kingdoms tend to have a lifespan of roughly 250 years. It says not a hard rule. While 250 years is considered the average, some empires have lasted significantly longer, like the Roman Empire or the Byzantine Empire. Let's look at factors here. The factors affecting longevity. It says various factors can influence a kingdom's lifespan, including internal conflict, economic instability, external threats, and technological advancements. That sounds like America to a T, because we're seeing all those things that were just listed. We're seeing it in real time. Okay, and that last one right there, technological advancements. You can't tell. You really can't tell me that that's not going into the MOTB, the chip. Okay, that's one of the last major prophecies that has to come to pass before this place is blown up. Okay, and it's coming. You better believe it's right around the corner. Okay, that's very, very interesting looking at this. And America is right there. That 250 is right around the corner. Okay, and the fact that it's going to hit 250 years in 2026, that's very significant. And we're going to deal with that. Okay. So 2026. Okay, 2026. What is significant about this year, or that particular year, 2026? What I really want to put emphasis on is the number 26. Okay, what is so special about that number 26? Okay, what's special about it is the fact that it represents a name, the name. It represents the name of the Most High, Yahweh. Okay. Now, this, of course, is the ancient Paleo-Hebrew script. Okay, and of course, from right to left, that's how you read Hebrew, from right to left, this is actually the name of the Most High, Yahweh. Okay, now, what this is known as the Tetragrammaton, okay, which I believe is Latin for four letters, okay? Tetragrammaton. The word tetra means four. And of course, grammaton means letters. 4 letters, okay? And that's what spells out the name of the Most High, which is Yahweh. Okay. So what you have to understand is in Hebrew, each Hebrew character has a numerical value. Okay. And from right to left, this is Hebrew, the YHWH. Okay. But in Hebrew letters. Okay. So from right to left, given the numerical value, the Y in ancient Hebrew represents or has a numerical value of 10. Okay. Now the next character, the H, has a numerical value of 5. Okay. Now the next character, which would be the W, has a numerical value of 6. Okay. And of course, the last letter in his name, of course, is another H, which gives us 5. Right? So when you do the math, 10 plus 5 plus 6 plus 5 gives us a sum total of 26. Okay, that's why this number is attached to the Most High's name. It represents the Most High's name, which of course is Yahweh. Okay, now keep that in mind because that's very important. And now we're going to look at something else here. Okay, let's go back. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. Okay, and we're going to start with Adam. And we're going to take a look at something here. Okay, let's take a look. So looking at the screen here, we have two men's name on the screen here. Of course, Adam and Moses, right? We're going to deal with this generationally, okay? And I'm not even going to leave it to suspense. If you count the generations from creation, starting with Adam being the first generation, from that point all the way to Moses would be the 26th generation. Okay, Moses. He came in the 26th generation. Now, why is that significant? Okay, we already read that the number 26 represents the Most High's name, Yahweh. Okay, so why have Moses come on the scene in the 26th generation? Why? Because what's attached to the Most High's name is his mercy. Okay, let's prove that. Let's just show I'm just not talking. Okay, let's look at that. Let's go to Exodus chapter 3 and let's take a look at this. So this is Exodus chapter 3 and we're going to start at verse 7. Okay, now if you're not familiar, this is when basically Moses has his encounter with the burning bush. Okay, he saw the bush that burns. He became inquisitive, so he went to go see what was going on. Okay, and of course the angel of the Lord was speaking to him, giving the message of Yahweh to Moses when you actually read this. Okay, so this is Exodus chapter 3 and verse 7, and it reads, it says, and the Lord, now I want you to understand something too. Whenever you see this word Lord in all capital letters in the Bible, originally in the original text, that the word Lord wasn't there. That was the Tetragrammaton. It literally said, and Yahweh said. It didn't say, and the Lord said. It said, and Yahweh said. Okay. But anyway, it says, and Yahweh said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt. Okay, and bear in mind that America is spiritual Egypt, according to Revelation chapter 11. Okay, it says, I have surely seen the affliction of my people, which are in Egypt. Now, of course, this context is dealing with physical Egypt. America is spiritual Egypt. Okay, so it says, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. Let's look at the next verse. It says, and I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of the land unto a good land and large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Okay, and that place today is what we call the land of Israel. Okay, originally it wasn't nothing but Canaanites there. Okay, the heathen actually possessed that land at that time, so they had to be exiled out once we got there. Okay, not to jump ahead with the story, but yeah, that's that land that he's telling Moses about here is talking about what's today the land of Israel. Okay, so let's look at the next verse, and it reads. It says, now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I will and I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppress them. Okay, now remember, all this is happening when Moses is on the scene, and this is the 26th generation. Okay, that number 26, there's a significance to it. Okay, and that 26th generation, again, they were in physical Egypt. But now, present time, the children of Israel are in spiritual Egypt. Okay, still under oppression. Okay, so now let's look at this last verse. Let's go to verse 10, and it reads. It says, come now therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. So how do we start this? We read the verse, I believe it was verse 7, where the Most High said how he sees the affliction of how the Egyptians are afflicting our people, and he hears our cries by reason of our taskmasters, roughly paraphrasing. Okay, so he saw and heard everything that we were going through in ancient Egypt, and this prompted him to send Moses to deliver us out of that situation. What is that? That's mercy. Okay, we were going through it for so long, to a point where the Most High sent Moses to deliver us out of that oppression. That's given us mercy. Mercy is attached to the Most High's name, Yahweh. Okay, now if that's not enough, let's take a look at this. Okay, watch closely. So this is the 136th Psalm. Okay, Psalms 136. Okay, now when you read this Psalm, you'll see that there is a pattern in every verse. Okay? Every verse in this psalm ends with, for his mercy endureth forever. Okay? Whose mercy? Just look at the beginning of verse 1. It says, oh, give thanks unto the Lord. And again, all capital letters. That really should read, oh, give thanks unto Yahweh. That's who this is talking about. For he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. So he's the topic. It's the Most High Yahweh. He's the topic. And when you read this whole psalm, every verse ends with, for his mercy endureth forever. Right? Bear that in mind. Now, let's not leave it to suspense. Let's go all the way to the end of this psalm. Let's take a look at this. Now, you see, like I said, the pattern continues. Every single verse ends with, for his mercy endureth forever. But what do you see that's special about this particular psalm? How many verses is it? It's 26 verses. 26. We already know that the number 26 represents the name of Yahweh. And this is why, another reason why, I said that mercy is attached to the name Yahweh. Again, for his mercy endureth forever. Okay? So now, with that in mind, why am I saying all this? Again, don't lose the thought. Your president-elect, Mr. Donald J. Trump, wants to have this whole approximately year-long celebration celebrating America's 250th anniversary, its birthday, which coincidentally is in the year 2026. You have to keep this stuff in mind. You have to look at this from a spiritual vantage point. That's why this is significant. What is going to happen on a spiritual level in 2026? Okay, we can only speculate right now. But could that be a year where true hardship is coming and we need that mercy from Yahweh to the point we have to lean on his name? Could that be what's in store? Could it be a year where the Most High's name, Yahweh, is declared more and more, even more throughout the world? Only time will tell. Okay? But we have to look at this from a spiritual vantage point. Okay, let's end it with this. Let's go to the book of Proverbs. Okay? So this is Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 10. And it reads, the name of the Lord, again, all capital letters. So let's read it properly. The name Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. Again, mercy. That's where that's the safety. Safety comes with the name Yahweh giving you that mercy. Could 2026 be a year where all kind of hell breaks loose to the point we have to lean on Yahweh's name and that name alone? Of course, in the name of his son, which of course is Yahweh Shai. the Savior, the Deliverer. Could that be it? Again, only time will tell. We can only speculate right now, but we can come to a conclusion, or our conclusion based on the spiritual evidence that we have here. So, yeah, this is just something we have to meditate on. Really meditate on it and get ready. Okay? But anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. And again, the title of the video is The Big Birthday Bash, 1776 to 2026. What could this mean spiritually? Okay, so again, we laid out everything dealing with how Donald Trump, he's looking to have this year-long celebration starting Memorial Day of 2025 all the way to July 4th, 2026, in celebration of the 250th birthday anniversary of America. But coincidentally, most empires on average last approximately 250 years. Is this really going to be a celebration? Or could America be in for a rude awakening? Now, please, 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 please do not misunderstand me. I'm not saying 2026 is going to be the year that Yahushua returns. I don't know that, and no man knoweth that. Okay? Not even the angels in heaven, not even Yahushua himself knows the day nor the hour. Okay? But, again, I still say there's going to be something special about that year 2026. And that's simply just my critique based on the evidence that I see. Okay, I could very well be wrong, but this just seems a little too obvious to me because of the big deal they're making out of this, or the big deal that Donald Trump is making out of this. What's in store? Okay, so all I can say is get your houses in order. Keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your abilities. And most importantly, the faith in Yahushua. Sit back and let's watch this thing unwind. Okay? So with that, and as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, which is the name of the Heavenly Father. And I do so by Hashem, which means in the name of Yahushua, which is the name of the only begotten Son of the Heavenly Father, whom the world knows as Jesus Christ. And I want to thank all you brothers and sisters for tuning in. I hope this video was informative and edifying. And until next time, Shalom, family.